Valle's restaurant first opened in 1933. The very first restaurant seated 12 people, and it opened in Portland, Maine. Additional facilities were built, and they were built much bigger. Some of the Valle's restaurants could actually hold over 1,000 people. They had a kind of a cafeteria-like setting. Their most prominent dishes were steak and seafood. And some days they could actually sell over 12,000 lobsters in one particular day. And this took place in Boston, Massachusetts. So that was a feat other restaurants could not contend with. It's something that kind of made Valle's popular and famous. And slowly it became a fixture on the East Coast. And they received relatively good write-ups in newspapers. And they had good advertisement. Here's a commercial for Valle's restaurant, if I can get this on here. And here's an old ad, really too.
Come on and taste a real good time at Valle's. Come on and bring the family down to Valle's. It doesn't cost a lot to taste the best we've got. Everything's fresh here, and use the best here. Come on and taste a real good time at Valle's.
At University Boulevard, exit of I-95.
And there was a running joke that if you were overweight and you're working at Valle's, you had just started because their work ethic and management training made everybody thin. And in 1965, it was sold on the American Stock Exchange, shares were, and they actually received a buyout offer from Campbell's Soup. And from that point on, as the 70s began to take shape, a downfall took place. The owner received an inheritance, but it had a very large tax bill attached to it. And the current owners had a hard time accommodating it. And there was a fuel crisis, and people didn't drive or eat out as much anymore. And the minimum wage went upward. And so they had to pay their employees more. Also, certain menus that they have did not cater to certain people in different areas of the country. People in different areas of the country have different eating habits, and that they didn't make that adaptation. And they had a very low liquor-to-food ratio, something they did not improve upon. And by 1980-81, Valle's were actually losing money. And they slowly closed one by one, and the last three that were open one was in Maine, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. And the very last one closed in the year 2000. However, it was privately owned. It was not part of the franchise. And after that, there were no more Valle's, but if you ever ate there or had a steak or any seafood there, you probably remember it or remember seeing it on the East Coast. But currently, it lives on in memorabilia. If you surf eBay, you'll see old menus and other memorabilia from Valle's restaurant being sold on there. So let's see. If you ever ate there, hopefully this gives you a quick flashback or introduce you for the first time, gives you a brief review, and hopefully everything uploaded okay there. And let's see.